Now we're going to do exercise 1-20. So again, to do homework, you go to assignments, click on do homework. And since we're in chapter 1, let's filter it down to only show chapter 1. And we want to do E1-20, exercise 1-20, using the accounting equation. So notice there's two versions of this exercise. There's the book static worth 1 point, and I've not tried it, so I've got 0 out of 1 point. And the book static means that every time you try it, the numbers are the exact same, and the book means the problem is the exact same as the problem at the back of your chapter in your textbook. This similar to problem means it's the same problem as this, except the numbers will be randomized. Of course, if I was to choose this one to be on the test, I would use the problem that is similar to, because the numbers are randomized, meaning each student would have different numbers. So I'm going to click on the book static, so don't forget later to do the similar to on your own. So this exercise says, compute the missing amount in the accounting equation for each entity from the financial information presented. So we've got 3 different companies. We've got Newton Gas, Vegas Video Rentals, and Klein's Grocery. So we need to know the accounting equation, and this accounting equation is critical. In all of your accounting classes, you need to know what the accounting equation is, because all of accounting is based on the accounting equation. So the accounting equation is assets equals liabilities plus equity. Now remember, equity is sometimes called owner's equity. And the definition of assets are things that the company has or things that the company owns. The definition of liabilities is debt. And one of the definitions of equity is assets minus liability. So mathematically, that's how you would count or calculate equity. There's 2 more different ways to look at liabilities and equity. So notice the accounting equation has the equal sign here. So on the left side, the assets, we have a list of things that the company has. On the right side, we split out those assets. We split out the amounts of the assets and divide them into 2 groups. Liabilities, so this is the portion that others own, and equity, or owner's equity, this is the portion of the assets that the owner owns. So let's look at Newton Gas. Of their assets, the bank, or the banks, whoever gave them the loans, owns $64,000 of the assets, and the owner owns $80,000 of these assets. And so our job, so that's just a kind of an explanation of how the accounting equation works. So our task here is to find the missing amount. So the formula again, assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So obviously, assets is going to be this number plus this number. Now let's demonstrate how the calculator works. You can use a handheld calculator, or you can use this calculator in my accounting lab. So obviously, we would take 64,000 plus the 80,000 equity equals $144,000 of assets. Now the balance, or the accounting equation, will balance once we put the number in here. So we have 2 choices. We can type the number in here, or if I click in this box and then notice this little arrow will shoot this number into the box where the cursor is. That way you don't have to worry about typing the number. All right, now let's go down here. Let me clear this. Let's go down to Video Rentals. Video Rentals has $65,000 of assets. We don't know how much debt they have, but of these $65,000, the owner owns $25,000. Remember, that's what equity means. Equity means the amount of the assets that the owner owns. Also, mathematically, it's just 65,000 minus this, liabilities, gives you equity. So now we can calculate this amount. And that one was pretty easy. We can do that in our head, 40,000. So notice our accounting equation is now true. 65,000 equals 40,000 plus 25,000. And then our last scenario, we've got Klein's Grocery. They have $200,000 of assets, but they don't own all of it. The bank owns $43,000 worth. Also, you can say the company has $43,000 of debt. So how much of these $200,000 of assets does the owner own? In other words, what's equity? So to calculate equity, we take 200,000 minus 43,000. So 200,000 minus 43,000 equals, click in here, and then shoot the number over there. Now you can answer, or you can enter commas in here if you like, if it helps you read the numbers better. Notice I'm going to put a comma in here. That's just optional. So notice I did not put commas here. I did not put commas here, but I did put commas here. So it'll accept either one of these. So that's it. Now if I click on next question, it will take us to number 2 of 2. So I'm going to click on next question. So it gives us the same problem, but the company names are changed and then the numbers are changed. And if I wanted to go back to the previous one, I could either click this left arrow or I could click here and see all the questions. So the check mark means I've completed this problem. So it's your task to go ahead and complete the similar 2 version of exercise 1-20.